Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all the latest news that happened during the week of mobile, answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comments section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now, I do want to apologize this week. Did not get to do any videos this week. I was feeling ill. Luckily, I did do a COVID test. All good there on that end. It's always like nerve-wracking those like 2 days or 1 day, before you get the results. You're always like, what's going on here? What did I do this? Did I do this? You always kind of think back. So luckily all good now. I'm feeling better, so we will have more videos coming out this week. Got a smart home video coming out that I think you guys will be interested in, as well as some features for the Pixel 5. And by the end of this week, we should be getting our hands on the iPhone 12. So we will be doing some camera comparisons on that end. So yeah, lots of fun stuff coming. All right, now let's get to the news, which is pretty light today, to be honest. So if you guys want to talk about anything, again, let me know in the comment section down below and I will get to it. We only have 3 news articles and they're very scarce. Just not a lot happened this week because obviously in the US specifically, a lot of other stuff was happening. Remember, we don't want to get into politics here, so just gonna basically, go over all tech news. Although I will talk about Huawei and the implementations for that, so that will be interesting coming up. So, first of all, LG Rollable. This is a very interesting kind of design that LG has patented, and we have 2 trademarks, the LG Rollable and the LG Slide, that have gone through the trademark office. So we don't know what LG is going to choose for this, but basically this is a rollable screen, and how it looks like it works is you have a smartphone, and then it rolls out, and you have on the edges the screen come in, basically unravel, and it comes in on both sides because you see an expansion here and expansion here, which are sealed in this too. So it's pretty interesting. It's kind of like a different take on getting a tablet in your pocket. I am all for it. Again, the review is coming for this one this week, and that is for the Fold. I really have enjoyed it. I think it is the most fun phone and most satisfying phone that I've had this year. However, I will say it is not the best phone. I still think that went to the Note, and I have said it since I left the Note. Coming from the Note to the Fold was such a big difference in camera quality. It was really like such a big difference that I wish Samsung would put the better quality cameras in the Fold. Maybe with the Fold 3 we'll get it, but it's something that I don't think we should sacrifice when spending $2,000 to get an okay camera when I should be getting the best camera for that price point. So one thing I hope with LG, they do bring all their best specs, which of course, I think they will kind of like do, whatever premium stuff they can do, they're going to do with this. Now, the one thing I will say about this kind of design, it doesn't lead much to adding a bigger battery unless they make it thicker. Because, again, you have to hold everything in a smaller portion. So where these lines start, that is where everything has to fit in. So it could be a smaller battery, and I think that's going to be a little all around. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But very, very curious to see what we're going to have, what we're going to do overall with this. Okay, and so a lot of news has happened on the Galaxy S21, and a lot of people do believe that it's going to be coming out earlier next year. Now, my stance on it. I could be completely wrong. But my stance on it is people have been saying that the S series was going to release in January, or at least be announced in January, since the Galaxy Note 7. If you're counting, we're just past the Galaxy Note 20. So for the past 3 years now, or 4 years, we have gotten the same story. Oh, this year because of the Note 7 issues. This year because, the Note 8 didn't sell as well. This year because the S20 didn't sell as well. Whatever the excuse is, it's always that it's going to come out at CES. The announcement. Never has happened, never once. However, again, this is a very different kind of year, right? So, what people are now running with is like, oh, see, it's coming out sooner. It's coming out sooner. Case manufacturers, which, come on, guys, case manufacturers will make something just because it's gonna be a scoop. That's it. But case manufacturers are making cases. And now we have a Samsung representative that says, and I want to quote this because I really want to make sure I get this right. That says, I think it said it was possible that the S series could be coming out sooner than usual, basically. I can't find the exact quote here, but that's what he had said. That's what the exact quote was. That maybe we might get it sooner than normal. And that's not saying that it is coming out in January. It's not saying that it will come out sooner. It's that it's a possibility that it may come out sooner. Now, here's my problem with this. Everyone is saying it's going to be released in January. I really don't see that happening. I just do not see that happening. At most, I could see maybe it being announced in January and still being released in February. Again, the earliest an S series has launched is towards the end of February. That was the earliest it got released. Since the S3, I believe, I want to say, or maybe S4. S4 is when they kind of streamlined the launch cycle. S2 was all out of whack because that one was, 3 different carriers, 3 different devices. S3 was the first mainstream one after the Galaxy Nexus, and then came the S4 was kind of the standard. This is released this time, and the Note is released in the second half of the year. That since the S4, that has been what has happened. But yeah, so that is kind of my thoughts on it overall. We'll have to wait and see how it goes from there. But that is kind of my thoughts on it. I do not believe that we're really going to get it as soon as everyone keeps thinking. But again, I could be wrong. But it's just, that was the big, that I don't think this is as definitive as everyone's making it out to be. But we'll wait and see. Again, it's this rumor has been every single year. So at least they're not saying it's at CES. They were saying basically it's going to be coming out, announced could be, 3 weeks before MWC. I still think that's too early. I think again, at the earliest, the announcement might be at the end of January and then coming out in February, mid-February maybe. That's the earliest it's ever been. The earliest it has been previously is the end of February, when it was announced the first week of February. That's been the earliest. Will it be sooner than that? We'll have to wait and see. The latest it's ever been is May, I believe. It was April or May. I think it was announced in April and then released in May. That was the latest one, I believe, has ever been seen. So yeah, so we'll have to wait and see how it goes, but that's what we're working with right now. All right, and then this one I thought was an interesting one to go with, just because it's very different, and that is Razer, which is known only for gaming laptops, has made a non-gaming laptop. They've basically made one without a dedicated graphics card. It has an Intel-based graphics card, which just means it's integrated graphics, nothing special about it. So it's more of a productivity, but it's still rather expensive. If I remember, this one cost $11.99, and I'm going to be looking into this. Of course, I have told you guys, yeah, $11.99 is for the entry-level version. I am going to be giving the Best Buy Black Friday deals. I haven't seen Target's ad yet. I've seen their toy ad, but I haven't seen their regular ad. What I'm waiting for is Walmart's is out, Best Buy's is out. I haven't seen Target's regular ad yet. I will try to look for it today. But basically, by the end of next weekend, I'm guessing, is when that one will be out as well. I'm going to give you the best deals in terms of those three retail stores. So in terms of Best Buy, Walmart, and Target, I will give you the best deals to kind of look out for. And sometimes they pop up here and there. I will try to share them on Twitter and Facebook mainly. So follow us there at YouTube Tech Guy if you're not yet. But those will be the kind of ones that where I'll put them basically if they're a really quick one. Like Target had an amazing deal this past weekend. I did not get it in time because I was at work, and at 6 o'clock when I got out of work, I tried to see if any were available, and they were sold out. But they had a TCL 65-inch TV for $229. That was an amazing deal. It had Android TV in it, which Android TV is all the rage right now because of the new Chromecast. It's kind of leapfrogged over Roku in a lot of ways. And yeah, I'm really kind of curious about that one. Now, there is one I'll tell you that I'm planning on getting because that one sold out so quickly. I'm planning on getting for I just realized that person might be watching. But there's a TV that I think that is going to be a really good deal. It's going to be a Hisense TV, 65-inch for $249. So that one is one of the best and biggest Black Friday deals that's coming out for Best Buy. But again, I'll get more into it and kind of tell you guys the best of the best that I really think are out there. One thing I'm personally looking for my wife is for a computer like the Razer, where it's a productivity laptop. She's going to get a new one. So I'm really kind of looking into that overall for her. So kind of we'll see how it goes overall with all of these things. So yeah, very curious to see how it will go in terms of everything, but I will try to find the absolute best deals for you guys to get. And as I do every year, I will be also having a Black Friday video. Basically, as soon as Amazon hits the Black Friday sales, we'll also be doing a live stream. It usually either happens at 9 p.m. or at midnight with Amazon, and kind of go to it from there and give you all the best deals for that. Now, lastly, I do want to talk about, again, we don't want to get into politics here, so again, just take this with more of an interesting thing to look out for. And that is, a lot of people have asked me and posed the question this week, if everything moves along as it has right now, if Biden becomes president, what is the fate of Huawei? Will Huawei smartphones be loosened to come back into the US? And a lot of people don't realize that the whole thing against Huawei was more bipartisan, meaning that both sides of the US did not like Huawei. A lot of the investigations of ZTE and Huawei started with Obama. So my take on it is that although I think it would be very interesting for Huawei to come back, I know that when I talked to other reviewers, I had some really interesting insight into some of the stuff that Huawei did, like with stealing technology. It is not that easy to kind of like forgive and forget. So I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what will end up happening with them. But I don't think we're going to see them back in the US, at least that quickly. I could see possibly more things like they can get parts from the US maybe again. As of right now, Huawei cannot use Google Apps. They are losing basically every chip manufacturer that can make their chips. So yeah, Huawei is basically not doing well. Which is, it's funny because I will say this. Huawei has been touting record-breaking numbers. And I am by far the least conspiracy theory person out there. I actually think most conspiracy theories are very dangerous, and you should never look into one without researching. I'm all about that. I feel like I've always been, and I don't think that's a political issue, I've always been about research both sides before you make any decision. So I have to buy an iPhone before I can say that it's not for me, it's not for power users. Before I can say any of that stuff, I have to use it myself and verify that I know what I'm talking about without just, oh, iPhone's trash. Like I have to do that or else I'm not doing my job. So, in terms of, forgot where I started with that. Why did I get into that? Um, with Huawei. So Huawei continuously has posted high sales, which for me, I have just been like, how are they selling so much without Google? So, although I'm not a conspiracy theorist, although I have nothing to prove this with, I have to think, are some of these numbers made up? Are some of these sales just being sold to the government as government phones because obviously they want to support their own? Those are possibilities, but I do not understand how Huawei is selling so much when it's completely out of the US. But not only that, it really, without Google services, it's not doing well in Europe. So how are they selling so much is my big kind of like, I just don't understand it. And because I think most reviewers thought that 2020 would be the death of Huawei. That like, this would be the year that their sales would drop and that would be it. Like, they would sell in China, but nothing outside of it. But in 2020, for one quarter, they outsold Samsung, which, again, to be the number one smartphone seller is huge. But how? Like, how? And that's just one thing that I've been rattling with in my head for a while now. So yeah. All right, guys. Now let's get to your questions. Never sleep on LG. Once in a while, they will surprise you. Definitely. I'm actually going to reach out to my LG contact again and see if they do have a new wing for us. Because yeah, it's one phone that I've been so interested to review. Just check out, even if it's a loaner device for 2 to 3 weeks. I want to experience it. I want to give my feedback of it. I haven't watched many people's wing videos because I want to experience it for myself. And quite frankly, I think because I'm so tedious with finding out every little tidbit, I will find out things that no one else has. So I don't want to give my kind of like thoughts on it till I get it in my hand, till LG does some software updates to improve it. Like, this is one thing I'm very curious for the LG to kind of keep coming out with. I love the idea of a rollable one. So yeah. Lenovo smart clock with Google Assistant, $40 at Best Buy. Good device? Yes, I think I saw it for 34 though at somewhere else. Check out slickdeals.com, or sorry, slickdeals.net or slickdeals.com. Let me see. Hey, PlayStation 5s are back in stock at Walmart to pre-order. So Lenovo. So speaking of Lenovo, actually, if you can go to a Walmart near you or ask them, it's on slickdeals.net. If you go to theirs and go ahead and see if they have the 7-inch smart display, that is $33 right now. So it's cheaper and it has more capabilities than the clock. And 7-inch instead of, I think the other one's 5-inch for the clock. So yeah, go ahead and check that out if you can. But that one is one that I definitely think that you would appreciate for the better features. But is the clock good? Yeah, I mean, I checked out the clock a while back at CES, and I thought it was a good idea. I actually think it's a really good idea, say, for like especially for kids, I would say, because I found that the Google Display kind of had too much freedom if you don't want your kids to watch or stream things, you know, if you don't want your kids to watch like Netflix or YouTube or stuff like that on, you know, you just want a alarm clock essentially, but a smart one with Google Assistant on there. The the clock is perfect for that. It has less features, so it's more tied down. You can't play videos on it. You can have photos on there, which is good. But yeah, that's one thing that I would say where it might be even better, and one of the reasons I've thought about getting it myself. I'm loving the Tab S7 Plus. I can't seem to get auto sync to work between my tablet and my Note 10 Plus, like my camera photos. I think to do it manually, my Samsung and Google accounts set up on both. So the best thing to do for that, to be quite honest, is either to set up Samsung Cloud if you haven't already, sign into Samsung on both, and choose to back up photos. However, that's going to fill up quickly because you only have 5 gigs for free. So the much better solution is to sync it through Google Photos. So Google Photos, if you go into the settings portion of it, you have the option of keeping the original quality and it's limited to 15 gigs, or you get the high quality, which is a 16 megapixel camera, which most photos are under 16 megapixel by default, and 1080p videos, so it will make your 4K videos 1080p, but it's unlimited photos and videos. So that's a much better way to synchronize it if you want to synchronize all your photos and everything like that. Like for me, it's also even synced between our family, right? So like if me or my wife take pictures of our kids, it automatically shares it on Google Photos, so I can see, like, you know, when I'm at work, I can see a new picture of my son or my daughter playing, and you know, it's a brightening up my day kind of thing. So those are the kind of things that really are important. So synchronizing Google Photos is a much better way to do it than what Samsung has to offer. Anybody pick up the Black Friday deals at Walmart? I actually scored a 65-inch Ion for $228. Definitely bought with a 4-year warranty. Please, Warren, let me know how that one is. So I've heard mixed things about that brand. It's Walmart's brand. They own that brand. I'm very curious on what your thoughts are, because I know you've watched us for a long time. You have, I think, really great insight into different brands. So please let me know what you think about the quality, because that's one that, you know, I always try to go with what I know, right? So like, I remember back in the day I was a merchandiser, did a part-time merchandiser when I was going in between different district jobs. I needed a job right away, so I was a merchandiser, and that's just, you know, I was doing that. So I was merchandising for different companies, and one of them was Hisense. So I set up the new TVs that came out, and that TV, I was really impressed by the quality of it. Ended up going on sale for that Black Friday that year, and that's my bedroom TV now. Now, is it the best TV compared to like my Samsung QLED TV? No, you can definitely notice a difference between those two. But for like a bedroom TV, it was perfect. Like, it's still great, and it had Roku TV built into it, which I was very happy with, because I don't recommend Roku sticks anymore. Roku sticks have had too many issues with them, too many overheat on me, and just too many bad things. I recommend getting the box version of Roku, more so now, or getting the new Chromecast. So yeah, so those are just some of my thoughts on about those. But yeah, I'm really curious. What's your thought on the Ion, if you've opened it yet, or if you're gifting it to someone? Obviously, you might not know yet, but I'm very curious on what you think for it. I have had friends that have had the TCL, and they loved the quality of it. So again, it's just kind of like figuring out, you know, what certain people like, or what certain qualities people like, and sometimes it's made better for different rooms. So I like, for my Hisense TV, it's not, I realize it's definitely not as bright, but we have a full tilt on there for the TV mount. So basically, when one window is open, if you tilt, we have to tilt it this way for it to be a really perfect picture. But you know, obviously at night, it can be anyway, and it's gonna look great. But yeah, so those are some of my thoughts on like dealing with a Hisense TV that was, again, more of an entry-level model TV. and how I kind of fine-tuned it for what I need it for. I'm currently on my Note 9, and I do feel it's time to upgrade. But I don't see anything special about the Note 20. I'm thinking about moving to iOS for the first time. I don't know if I like it. Well, it's a very big difference from iOS to Android, so you have to know that going into it. It's going to be a difference going into it. Use the move to iOS transfer so you can move everything over to it. However, like I just mentioned earlier, I recommend Google Photos over iCloud's backup for photos because, again, iCloud's only going to give you 5 gigs. Google Photos is unlimited, and it doesn't matter if you're on Android or iOS, that'll back up all your photos automatically every time you go into a Wi-Fi location. So that's the big thing right there. In terms of the Note 20, you should not buy the Note 20. I've told a few people on the chat before, but basically for upgrading from a Note 9, you should either get the Note 10 Plus or you should get the Note 20 Ultra. The Note 20 Ultra has, by far, in my opinion, so far from every camera I've seen this year, the best camera of the year. It's so good. I miss it so much. I see my wife take photos and videos now, and the quality, because I gave her my Note, is just so much better than what I have. And again, I'll be getting the iPhone later this week for the iPhone 12, and I'll be doing comparisons, but it is just so much better. So yeah, so the Note 20 Ultra is really, the camera quality is so good and the video quality is so great. So that's the one I would recommend. The Note 20, the reason is because if you compare the Note 20 to the Note 10 Plus, the Note 10 Plus actually gives you, out of 7 different features, I have this in a video already, out of 7 different features, the Note 10 Plus actually has 5 better than the Note 20. And the Note 20 only has 2 features better than the Note 10 Plus. So yeah, so it's way more leaning towards the Note 10 Plus that I would recommend over the Note 20. The Note 20, honestly, I don't recommend anyone buying. That's just my opinion. But I think the Note 10 Plus would be a much better phone. Upgrading from your Note 9 or going to the Note 20 Ultra would definitely be the best of the best that you can get right now in the Samsung ecosystem and the best camera you can get right now, period. All right. All right. 2000 is a great gaming laptop. For a phone, it's crazy. Even if you think that it's a phone and a tablet. Yeah, 2000 is a lot of money, and again, I don't recommend. I don't really recommend people buying the Fold. To again, I would say the Note 20 Ultra is a much better phone overall. But I will say it's such a satisfying thing, like that I really have loved the bigger screen. It's just something that I've adapted to so easily. But it's something, again, I don't take photos with my Fold. I rarely do. And yeah, I have a $2,000 gaming laptop that I do all of this stuff on. So that was much better, worth my money compared to this. Thoughts on Amazon Echo on Echo 5 on sale for $45. I think that's a great price. I am not in the Echo ecosystem, so that's my thing. I will say that the Echo 5 is not the, if I remember correctly, let me go ahead and check it out. Echo Show 5, I'm guessing, right? So the cool thing about the new Sphere Echoes, right, that I will say is pretty a little bit cooler than this one, is that the other one has the ability to be a hub for Zigbee stuff, and Zigbee stuff is very cheap compared to smart home like lights. If you get Z-Wave lights or Zigbee lights, they're way cheaper and more affordable. So it's just this thing to, and they're also can't be accessed via Wi-Fi, so they're more secure. So that is one thing with the new spheres that they offer. They're a Z-Wave hub. But overall, with the 5-inch display, it's really awesome. I think if you're logged into the Alexa ecosystem or have a lot of things that are Alexa compatible, for 45 bucks, it's really, really good. And yeah, I think for that price, it's good. I will say the camera quality, don't expect too much from it. It's a 1 megapixel camera, so that's not the best, to say the least. I don't understand why they couldn't put a 5. You don't get a 5 megapixel till you get to the Echo Show. So depending on what you're using it for, if you're using it for video calls, then that's just one thing to note. But it also does work with like a lot of smart home things like Ring. So if you get a Ring doorbell or Ring security cameras, they do link to it, and also other ones will too. So it definitely has a lot of positives going for it. Okay. What's up, strangers? What up, X? So yeah, whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink, and we got a super chat. Hey X, thank you so much for the super chat donation. If you have any questions, let me know. I finished my coffee earlier. Nice Game of Thrones throwback. But yeah, I finished my coffee earlier, so now just on the water. All right. Is 5G worth the upgrade yet, or wait more? Is it worth an upgrade? No. No. 5G hasn't been worth an upgrade. I think any reviewer with their salt has stated that, right? Like it's not something that's going to make a big difference, especially depending on what carrier you're on. If you're on Verizon, it made absolutely no difference until the Q1 of next year. AT&T, it's slowly building a difference. If you live in a popular city, that's where it's making a little bit more of a difference because they're starting to do their low band 5G. But and T-Mobile, really, unless you live in a mid-band area, I don't see it making the biggest difference. Mine is still in low band 5G, so I really don't see that much of an improvement. For me, I get a better upload speed. But in terms of a download speed, like I'll check it right now, I guarantee I'm going to get mediocre, like, under 15, 20 megabytes at my home compared to if I go to a mall or outside of a mall where it's more populated in like Long Beach or wherever I would go around me. That one would get a much better speed. Those I get up to 100 megabits per second, which I would be much happier with. So yeah, don't get that good of a speed at my house, unfortunately, yet. Which really sucks because I totally want to abandon cable. If I could get a T-Mobile high-speed 5G, download speed going really well, I would totally leave my cable internet. My upload speed is actually better on my 5G. So yeah, I got it at 5 megabits per second right now download, which is pathetic, right? But I actually got it at 35 megabytes upload, which my plan for cable is only 10 upload. So it's really bad. So I wish I could do this because I feel like it takes so much longer. Since I've moved to this house, it takes so much longer to upload than it used to. Now at my other house, I had 75 upload speed, so I was just uploading it like that. Here it takes a good 20 minutes to even half an hour to 45 minutes to do the HD version. So I generally when I upload, I basically take a while to comparing to where I used to live because it was a lot faster upload speed. So is 5G worth it? No, I would say for most people, no. But if your phone has it, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to be bad. Unless you have a really small battery, it's only going to benefit you. Does the Note 20 have a download booster option built in or and always on now? Any great Verizon S20 deals? So here's the thing. Right away, you said, does it have download booster or always on display? those kind of features are very niche and can depend on your carrier. So for me, I have the Fold 2 that is unlocked, and I do not have download booster on this phone. So I don't have it on this phone. I know another Samsung phone that I had earlier this year, I did have download booster, but it really depends on it. And yeah, so it depends on the carrier, because sometimes the carrier does disable those features because they don't want them on their phone. I know AT&T, if I'm not mistaken, did disable download booster since the S10, but like on the T-Mobile S10, it had it on there. So yeah, so those are the kind of things that it just depends really. So yeah, that's the main thing I would say for that question. Any great S20 Plus deals right now, or should I wait till Black Friday? S20 Plus. Let's take a look at Amazon first. So Galaxy S20 Plus. And you said for Verizon. So on Amazon, if you just buy it from Amazon right now, factory unlocked, it is $1,000. So that's $200 off the normal price. If you get the Verizon version, oh, it just comes with a free SIM card kit. No, actually, with this one, you can get up to $250 off, or sorry, a gift card for Verizon when you activate it as a new line. So if you can get this one, you can get it for $1,000, right? So it's $200 off. And then on top of that, if you activate it for a new line, you get another $250 via gift card, which of course you can just pay your bill with or pay the phone off with. So yeah, not pay the phone off with, but pay your bill with. So yeah, so those would be the deals right there. I know Best Buy has some deals. I don't remember which ones they were, but I will again be posting the Black Friday deals as they come out. If you want to, right now, you can check Best Buy's flyer. It's kind of hard to find the exact link on their website, so let me go ahead and pull that up for you, just so you can take a look. But you can preview their actual ad for the day, because right now they're like, oh, well, you can get a lot of deals, later on, just, go for it. But it's not the real ones. They're not as good as the real ones. So there it is. And let me just look real quick. Why not? Let me just look real quick to see what smartphone deals Samsung has. So they're gonna have Best Buy is gonna have the A51 on sale. They're gonna have the Pixel 5 on sale. So it looks like you're going to be able to get for these phones, you'll be able to get a 150 to 250 off for the unlocked versions. If you're going to get a Verizon, AT&T, or Sprint version, you can get up to 750 off with trade-in and new line activation. Or just it says with activation, it doesn't necessarily say new line, but it might be new line only. So yeah, so those are the deals that Best Buy is going to have for it. I know Costco's going to have some really good deals as well, most likely. So again, just as soon as I get all the ads, I'll put them together and give you the best ones. Let's see. Is it smart to wait at least a year before purchasing a new version of a cell phone? Yeah, I would definitely say second generations are more preferable. So after they make a big change to any product line, it's generally that one's going to have some issues, whereas the second generation is going to be a lot better. Very easy example, the Galaxy Fold. The Galaxy Fold 1 had issues. It really didn't look as good, didn't perform as well. The Fold 2 is a much more refined version of it. You can even say that a lot of people are already expecting that with Apple's announcement coming up next week, and that is basically that Apple's gonna make new MacBooks with Apple ARM-based processors. They're calling it Apple Silicon. But basically, with those, a lot of people are going to wait for the second generation because the first generation might have a lot of issues. So therefore, it is sometimes better to wait for a second generation of any product because it might be better off. It's also a fear of sometimes people don't like to get the first releases of a product. So like the PlayStation 5, some people don't like to get the first sent out ones because they might have issues, they might have overheating stuff or whatever. So they might wait till the second batch comes out, maybe like in January or February, when maybe all the bugs are worked out. A really good example of this, to be quite honest, was Tesla. Tesla's first versions of a lot of their cars had so many issues, and they fixed them so well after. So like for all the things that people talked about, like the Model 3 being so great, if you actually get a Model 3 now compared to when it was released when it first came out, the newer one is much better off, parts wise, hardware as well as software. Software, obviously, you could always say that, well, software updates are going to make a product better, should make a product better overall in the long run. But hardware is something that sometimes, again, they don't figure out till the second release. Um, let's see. Will you consider upgrading your new car for the Hummer next year? No, actually, I would not have any interest in the Hummer all electric. For those of you who don't know, I recently got a new car, fully electric car. It's a Honda Ioniq electric. So I'm very happy with it. I just got it back from getting detailed and got the seat. There was a ripped leather on the one that I bought, so they took care of it for free. So basically, just got it back all nice, and I love my car. I'm so much happier. And sometimes, like, I drive for an hour going to work and coming back to work, 45 minutes to an hour each way. When it's something you're spending that much time with, it's good to, spend more than you might normally do that. For me, it worked out because basically I was spending over $360 in gas. My new car payment is less than $350. So I'm actually saving money and I have a better car. So financially, if it works out for you, why not, right? It's I am now never going to the gas station again, which I'm very happy with as a born and raised Californian. So yeah, for me, it worked out. If there's one car that I would get, but I can't afford it, is I would get the Ford Mach-E. That car is so good for me because I have a family, so it's an SUV. It's a Ford, which I, was born and raised on. My first car was a Mustang. I was one of those people that literally drove top speed over 100 miles per hour on the freeway like an idiot when I was a kid. So yeah, I was one of those kids. And that's yeah, for me, it would be a culmination of everything. I saw it at CES. It looks so sexy in person. So if there's any one car I would get right now out of like a wish list or whatever, it would be the Ford Mach-E. Can't afford it. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with the car I got now. For now. No, I upgrade cars every 5 years. I really kind of try to maximize the purchase for sure. I think that car actually I had for like 7 years, so sometimes it's longer. Um, what is the main difference now between Roku and the latest Chromecast? Well, one of the biggest differences is actually availability right now. So, one of the biggest things Roku compared to Chromecast right now is something like HBO Max. HBO Max is having some issues with Roku because Roku tries to take a cut for them to be on there. And they were doing the same thing with Peacock. Peacock finally got through because Peacock threatened to take CBS and a bunch of other stuff off of there if they didn't comply. So, was it CBS? No, wait. I forget what Peacock owns. And that's NBC, so that's... Whatever it was, they were threatening to take channels off of there. Maybe it was like Comedy Central and all those ones, Viacom. But so they were going to threaten to take those off, so they ended up going on Roku. But you can still not get HBO Max, for instance, on a Roku. You can get it on a Chromecast. So that can be kind of like, okay, you know, something to consider. I will say streaming from your phone or your laptop or a lot of other things is much easier with the Chromecast than it is with a Roku. Roku's work okay sometimes, but with the Chromecast I feel it's a lot easier. The Chromecast, though, the reason I would say it really is better is because it has Google Assistant built into it, which is obviously better than Roku's voice command system. So Roku always had more apps before, but because of HBO Max and Peacock and other new streaming services, whereas Google doesn't need to do anything different, right? Their cut is standard across the board. They don't need to renegotiate with any company because if you have an Android app, you're going to be on the Chromecast as long as you create the app for it. So right now, Chromecast literally jumped from being an okay little dongle to the new Chromecast being in a lot of ways better than Roku because again it has Google Assistant built in it, right? So like if I had a Chromecast on my TV, if someone rang my doorbell, which is a Nest Cam doorbell, if someone rang my doorbell, I could actually see that on the TV and I could communicate with it from my TV. I can literally hit the button and say like, hey, yes, please leave the package there, or you know, leave the DoorDash or whatever it is. I can talk to the person from my TV with the Chromecast remote. So because of those kind of things, it becomes more of a smart home thing as well, which Roku just can't compete with that. So yeah, in a lot of ways, the Chromecast has been better, in my opinion. Okay. Whoa, a bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. Hey, Rudy, thanks for tuning in. See you for the next time, sir. I'm going to begin my PS5 on Thursday, so I'm excited for that. Definitely that video is going to be coming out. I probably won't be able to do that video till the night, just so you guys know, because I was thinking about doing it right when I get there, but then there's actually a digital event at 8 a.m. So I don't think I'll be able to do it. I think I'm going to have to go to that digital event and then do this. So yeah, so I will be doing the unboxing for the PS5 and hopefully, so Sony has not announced what kind of storage you can upgrade your system with. I'm hoping they do that soon, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm very curious because I got a Western Digital Black PCI Express 4.0, which should be compatible with it. They actually said it was, and then they took that post down. So I'm pretty sure it's compatible with it. But I can tell you, for everyone that's thinking about upgrading PS5, those are selling out right away right now. And it's not even, Sony is waiting to give the compatibility list, is you cannot upgrade the storage yet, but that's the first thing I want to do immediately as soon as I can. So very curious to see how that goes. Have you had any green tint issues on the Tab S7 Plus? I heard of a lot of people having the problem. I have not. I have heard of that issue. I looked at it as soon as I saw that issue going around. I haven't had any issue with it. So yeah, I'm fine with it. Hopefully it'll keep going, but yeah, we'll see. Samsung has been busy. One UI 2.5 S Series Note 9 wireless DeX. Several changes. Pro video features from the S20 Ultra, Note 20 Ultra, 24, 30, 60 frames per second feature. Yeah, no, I think Samsung in the past 2 years has come such a long way in terms of their upgrading their old stuff. Like Samsung 2 years ago was like, oh yeah, sure, they're the worst thing on updates. Oh, you're gonna get that one, and I was one of the people saying this. Oh, you're probably gonna get. Let's see, this upgrade is coming out for the S10 in January. You'll probably get it for the S9 in like April or March. Like that's how, realistic it was. But Samsung has really been stepping up their upgrade game. Like since last year, they have stepped up their upgrade game so much software wise that you really feel like, man, you can really ride these phones for longer now. So yeah, it's definitely been better for sure. Ricky, what is your opinion on Bill Gates? Do you see him as an influential person, and is that the most of his wealth gives? Um, so I won't say that I know too much about Bill Gates since he's gotten more into the charity stuff. He's dealing with a lot of vaccine stuff. I know now. I've seen some of his interviews with that. Um, but yeah, I mean, the biggest thing about Bill Gates is yes that he's going to leave most of his money to charities, and he's done a lot of philanthropies and a lot of things, and I think you could always admire someone that does more things for other people, right? So I think that's always a good thing. Like if you are wealthy, you should definitely give back, and that's the more impact you can make to other people's lives. I think judges your character. I mean, like I've done the little I can with the little. I mean, I have a lot of phones sometimes, and like if I have a friend that like, oh, I broke my phone or whatever, I just give it to them. Like, oh, I have this phone here, take it. I did that with he already I think signed off with Rudy. Met him a while back, and he needed a new phone just for I think it was for drive for like I don't know if Uber or something like that, and he just wanted a phone. I was like, hey, I'm not using this phone anymore. Take it. It's just you have to be able to kind of donate or do whatever you can when you can. I feel like I think that's really good. So yeah, that's I think my biggest thing with Bill Gates. I mean, all the billions he has. He was the richest man in the world for like I think a 10-year stretch. Um, you know, Giving back is I think his biggest thing that he'll be remembered for once he passes, because all that donation is going to be after he passes. So literally billions of dollars will go into charity as soon as that happens. I heard on was rebadge Hisense. Okay, it's for my bedroom, replacing a 50-inch. Replacing a 50-inch Toshiba with a 4K Ion 65-inch is really good. Yeah, so it's gonna be a world of different. Yeah, no, I'm. It's definitely gonna be a huge difference for sure. It's like the one that I'm replacing is going to be a 40-inch 1080p TV. So this will be a 4K 65-inch smart TV. So yeah, it's going to be a huge difference from that. Prices has gone up on tablets in the Caribbean. What's a good Android tablet online school under 200 USD? Oof. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I know like one that I was looking into. S6 Lite. The Galaxy Tab S6 Lite I know is one that I was looking into, but that is on sale right now for $270. and that's a phenomenal one. I mean, for what you're getting for it. I don't think. What about the Tab? No, the Tab S7, the Tab S5e I was thinking of as well, but that's actually more expensive. I wonder if you can still get a Tab S4 for really cheap. Well, not from Best Buy. Yeah, but I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, I'm sure there's like Tab A's. Huawei had some good tablets for a little while, although their software updates were so bad. Obviously, with all the stuff they're going on, it's a little understandable. But I had the MediaPad one that I gave to my daughter. I remember. Don't know where it is right now. Don't know where it is right now, but that one was a good one. Yeah, just looking at Best Buy's website right now, they have the Tab A from 2019, a 10-inch version of it for $200 exactly. So that might be one to look into. I don't know if they came out with the Tab A in 2020, but that's thing I would look into. But yeah, so that's just, it's normally $330. So right now it's 200. Again, check what discounts are over there more than anything, but I'll put this into the comments or section, and that's for 200 right now on sale. It's normally $330, and that's 128 gigs of storage, so that's a lot of storage for that price for sure. So yeah, that's good. Okay. It's sitting, sitting at Walmart. Have to pick it up this week. It was only available for pickup local with different location. We'll let you know. Cool. OtterBox is taking their time making a MagSafe cases. I'm sure they are. I really want to see the first MagSafe car mounts. Those are the ones I'm really curious about. In India, the iPhone 12 is 1,700. Wow. Base model, but the US and others, it's 1,000. What could have caused that, if you know? I mean, it's the people. As far as I know, I don't know if Apple is doing that increase in price or if it's the company that's selling it. So, like, you know, here we have Best Buy as the biggest retailer, so they can change the price of it. Carriers in the U.S. often change the price of a product. For instance, AT&T will typically be $100 more expensive than, say, T-Mobile or Verizon, just because they want to make more money on the back end. So sometimes a carrier can change the price, or the retailer that's selling it can change the price. I don't know if that's Apple doing it themselves. If it is, then I'm guessing it could be exporting or stuff like that or whatever. I'm not an expert on that, but those would be the three things that I would say it could be. It could be the retailer, it could be the carrier, or it could indeed be you know, the expense of shipping to a country and taxes that have to be paid for it. Or it could just be greed. I guess that's the fourth option. And with Apple, it could just be greed. Will there be Black Friday still going still? If yes, will you be doing an update? Last Prime Day, I bought stuff. Thanks to you. Kept up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had a huge increase in all purchases on Prime Day. So I do thank you guys for clicking those links. It really helps me out. So again, if you're buying anything on Amazon for Black Friday, please click our affiliate links before you do. And then anything you buy, we'll give a few cents and dimes and nickels towards me. And I really appreciate that. It doesn't cost you anything but a click, and I really do appreciate it. But yeah, will there still be Black Friday? Yes. Will it be traditional in terms of in person? No. I think you're going to see a bigger increase definitely this year online. And I mean, all retailers I don't think are opening on Thursday this year either. I think everyone's opening on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that's the direction that most people said it will be happening. So yeah. since Thanksgiving will be a thing soon, I will be very thankful to check out 51st Date Questions. Well, thank you so much for that plug-in. And yes, 51st Date Questions is a great app you can check out. It is a dating app that I created a long time ago. And basically, all you have to do is download it, and it's a great date night thing, whether it be with the person you've been with for years or whether it be a first date. It's a great icebreaker, great conversation thing. It's just a fun thing to do on a good night. So do it, and I guarantee you'll have a great time. Links are in the description for iOS and Android. My middle name is Ford. True story. That is pretty cool, Jefferson. I'm not a fan of electric vehicles, but I would like to see the Cybertruck versus the Hummer. LOL. Yeah, I think it's cool. Actually, one thing I learned about the newer electric cars, which I have one now, is that they make a noise because I guess people thought they were too quiet. And I remember, I think you had mentioned that you love the roar of an engine and everything like that. It's not that. It's like a space age sound. But like, I heard my car when the window was down in a parking lot, and it's like a, it's like a spaceship kind of sound. I want to say, but yeah, I thought that was really kind of interesting because I didn't hear it in my car. It's very low, but it's loud enough so that basically, if a person's walking, they can hear that something's coming, basically. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. That I did not know they did apparently to all newer electric cars because they were too quiet. So yeah. But yeah, the Cybertruck and the Hummer I think are really going to be interesting. You want to see that towing capability of those two. I think that'll be really fun. Can you recommend a wireless charger for my Galaxy S10? Thanks. I recommended an Anker one recently to my brother, and he really liked it. He wanted a stand-up one, so he wanted one that stands up. Anker wireless charger. So yeah, so this was a good one. He got it. It's $19. It fast charges Android and iOS. I wonder how much. So it goes up to a 10-watt charge. They can go up to 15 this year's models for iOS and last year's models for Galaxy. So it's not the top charge, but it's still good. And it's a stand-up charger. I think that's the main thing that most people want. But yeah, and you can charge it in terms of landscape or portrait. So you can charge it like this or like this, and it should make contact. It comes in both black and white. So yeah, it's a pretty good one that I would say to kind of go with. Does that one? Oh, okay. So that's important to note, though. It is $18.99, but it does not come with a plug. So of course, Anchor is going to make you get that separately. So that'll probably bring the price up. If you consider an Anchor wall adapter, you're probably going to get it to be about. Oh, so it only doesn't come with the actual wall part. It actually comes with a cable. It just doesn't come with a wall part. So yeah, so you just want to get the wall plug. Let me see if I can get another wireless charger I can recommend for you. I do like the stand-up though. I am more of a fan of that than the laying flat. Um, hmm. Can't find one right away. And the Anchor is one of the top rated ones too. Just trying to see if there's one with a wall adapter. I can't find one right now. If I do, I'll leave it in the description of this video. I'm excited for my PS5 arriving soon. Recently bought a Samsung 75-inch Q9 900T. I'm very jealous of you. 8K, can't wait to play on it. What surround sound would you recommend? I've only ever had one surround sound. We did a review on it recently. It is the not Echo, Enclave. Enclave. You can check out our video on it. I am so happy with it, and there's no latency. That's the biggest thing that I was really, I think with the surround sound so big, but still have it set up in my house. So happy with it. I can tell you I played PS4 Pro games with it, and the surround sound is so awesome. Like, you hear things from each side coming at you, and it's just like hearing like footsteps coming from like the left side. Like, I often like, what's that sound over there? Like, I forget that it's there, kind of thing. So it's really awesome. But yeah, the Enclave is one that I highly recommend. That I'm still very happy with. It's the only surround sound system I've ever had. I've had amazing $500 to $1,000 sound bars, but this surround sound system for I think it's about $1,000 is awesome. Definitely check it out for sure. All right, guys. With that, I think we will call it a show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you really can, please hit that like button before you head out. Share this video. It really helps us out. The more views we get, the more things we get. As you guys know, I'm always aiming to do this full time and not have to have a day-to-day job. It would always be the dream for me to basically do this, and that would be awesome. All right, guys. Thank you guys always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.